So let's talk about startups. There's plenty of them. There's a huge concentration of them in London in particular. Now, job adverts. Startups are on a tight budget usually. They're trying to keep things lean. They're trying to attract the best talent to their companies. Now, if there's hundreds of them, a lot of them potentially working on the same things, like in fintech, how are they supposed to attract the best talent? Okay, now, nothing to do with using recruiters. This is about them hiring directly, or at least having a brand or an image that's worth sort of going to recruiters with. Now, what I see on a lot of adverts is the standard job spec, which, it's getting a bit old, it's getting a bit boring. If there's not a recruiter doing it, then the startup's doing it. And when it comes to benefits, pension, which I'm pretty sure is a legal requirement, and free fruit, which I'll get onto later. And that's kind of it in terms of the benefits of working for one of these startups. But no, there's a lot more to it. If you're changing the finance industry, if you're changing insurance, if you're changing the way we exercise and we live, that in itself is a benefit. And I think what startup companies need to do is stop, foxing around with what they're actually offering people. Because a startup, like I said, is lean. There's no budget. You haven't got perk box. You haven't got weekly trips out to the Shard, whatever the kind of crap that recruitment companies do. You haven't got money for that, and that's absolutely fine, because the kind of person you want is going to believe in your vision and your meaningful pursuit of what you're doing. So what I think startups need to do is think about this. If you have an advert that has bullet point spec, what you need, what you're doing, benefits, and you aren't offering many benefits, it's going to make you look like you don't value your employees, or that you're not offering anything, or you expect them to work just for a salary. And that's not the case, because you're obviously doing something meaningful. You're obviously changing a sector, or changing the world even, because you wouldn't have funding if you didn't, and you wouldn't be as successful as you are so far enough to hire people, right? So how about changing your adverts to actually include the benefits within the advert? The benefit for you, or the benefit of you, is your purpose. It's your meaning. It's what are you doing that's different? What are your competitors doing, or what are you doing that's different? So think about putting that into the advert, in the sense of a story, in the sense of a walkthrough of a typical day, whatever kind of style it is. You don't need to have a bullet point and a really naked, bare list of 2 benefits, one being the salary, one being pension. Well, guess what? They're both legal requirements for a job. So, include the benefits in the job advert. Now, you might be thinking, well, we're a startup. Everyone wants a React developer. Everyone wants a Python developer. How are we meant to stand out? Well, you're meant to stand out by, like I said, your vision and your purpose. Now, you need to maybe sit down for 5 or 10 minutes, speak to your friends, speak to a recruiter, speak to whoever, and just sort of brainstorm and think, what is my vision? What am I setting out to do? What makes us a great place to work? How am I going to inspire someone to have the same passion as me, the director, the shareholder, whatever you are? How are you going to inspire someone? And that comes from what your company is doing. If I was a developer who loved fintech and I only wanted to work in fintech, no matter how many benefits or what you're paying in a plant-based startup, in a health and fitness startup, I don't care. I'm going to work in fintech. But there's so many of them, right? And so many of them potentially doing the same thing. Look how many challenger banks there are right now. What are you doing that's unique? What is your meaning in the market? Who are you? That is what is going to sell you, So I think you need to think about that and put that in the adverts, because your benefits are never going to be on par with a corporation or with a mid-sized business unless you have tons of funding. You're just pissing about with your money. But you're not going to do that because you want to be lean, right? So my advice to startups is review your sort of meaning and your purpose. Think about how you got investment if you have. What did you do to convince these people who are difficult to get money out of that they should put this money in you? And that's what you should be doing to candidates. Forget the job specs, forget the lists, think about what you're doing and show people that. Show people your passion, and people will want to join you.